Today I'm testing out two simple and safe ways to dry and regenerate desiccant using the equipment we already have at the CraftandHue studio. I'm going to be using my P1S and the X1C to both gently warm the chamber, and I'm going to use my Polydryer to give us a stronger and more focused heat, so together they'll let us dry desiccant without buying anything extra or using any household appliances. The drying tray I'm going to use is a MakerWorld model by derhein, and it works perfectly with both the P1S and the X1C. There's also an updated version available for the H2D. You'll find the link in the description if you want to download it to use. The tray sits directly on the build plate and spreads desiccant over evenly for better airflow and more uniform drying. This is the Polydryer, and I'm using the Desiccant Tray and cover designed by ElMagicoDeOz on MakerWorld. You'll find the link in the description if you'd want to download this one as well. The Polydryer provides a steady controlled heat source and is another option we already have available for drying desiccant. Both of these models should be printed in a heat resistant filament because they sit in a warm environment while drying. I'm going to be using PETG-HF, which performs really well in these sort of conditions. You could also use ASA or ABS. PLA would not be a suitable option as it can soften or warp. Before we get into the testing, just a quick safety note: some types of desiccant, especially coloured indicator beads, can release fine dust or trace chemicals when heated. Because of that, I don't want to use my household equipment like my oven or microwave for drying the desiccant. Anything used for preparing food should never be exposed to materials like this. So everything in the video is dried using equipment that is dedicated to the workshop. It keeps the process safe, simple and completely separate from anything used in the kitchen. So to start a print, you want to go to this cog, hit toolbox, go to dry filament, and then from here you want to select PETG-HF and not PET-CF. So the PETG-CF, sorry, not CF, HF. Sorry. Then you're going to go start, and then you are going to be in drying mode. So from here it's going to go into its 12-hour drying mode, which is normally reserved for filament drying, but we're going to use desiccant. So this is my desiccant I've put in. It's quite a lot, and as you can see, it definitely needs regenerating. Right, next we're going to go on to the P1S. So once we go on the controller, push down, and then we're going to push right and then push down again to go to the bed settings, and using the increments of 10 increase the temperature to 80 degrees. Ignore the 70, I do change it to 80 eventually, which is the same as the X1, which is also at 80 degrees. So yep, once the bed hits 80 degrees, we are then going to try out desiccant in a metal tray I found lying around in my garage. Why not? Let's see what happens. Mention in the comments below if you know. Does it dry? Does it not dry? Right, next we're going on to the Polydryer, and we've pre-done our desiccant in the pot. And as you can see back here, it says back with an arrow. This is where the element is, so the dryer needs to always face that way. And onto the settings, hit M to get to level 2, which is the PETG. Hit play, and that will start your 6-hour timer. Place the lid on and let the drying commence. I then pulled out my thermal imaging camera to see how the X1C was performing. This is the bed temperature I got, so between 57 to 60ish was what I picked up, but yeah, overall heated up well, no cold spots I could see. The P1S again was performing perfectly fine, no overall cold spots that I could see. 62 degrees was my highest on my highest spot, and 58 around the outer edge, so all good. Right, last is the Polydryer. I already got the desiccant running in this one, so it's already been running for a little while. Temperature wise, we got I think around 49ish, maybe 50, but yeah, overall quite well done and performing within what I wanted to. Panic stations, the X1 has moisture inside it. No, it's just condensation. Forgot to open the door as the instructions said, but I did stick the chamber fan on. Hopefully that got rid of it, and it did. Or you just crack the door open, either works, but panic averted. So some British weather for you. After removing the desiccant, this stayed out for a couple of hours, and I went to 85% humidity at 9.2 degrees Celsius. With the wet desiccant in there, it was at 44% humidity. So yeah, bumped up an extra 40. This is one of those boxes I have where my filament sits in. Again, 70% humidity inside the box with no desiccant in there at 8.8 degrees. Right, now for some results. So after 12 hours of drying in the P1S, the tray fully dried, and X1 was the same, so 12 hours in there, and it fully dried. So on the X1, I've got my metal tray, and again, nice and dry, so it all worked out. So onto the Polydryer, so after 6 hours, again, nice and dry, so it all works out here too. And now I have 27% humidity at 18.9 degrees Celsius, and this is after I've dried the desiccant. To show just how much moisture these beads can hold, here are some weights I recorded. The empty spool holder weighs 0.046 kg. With fully saturated desiccant, it raised to 0.145 kg, and once dried again, it drops to 0.125 kg. That means desiccant becomes roughly 16% heavier when it's wet. So even in a smaller spool, the extra moisture makes a noticeable difference, which is why keeping desiccant dry is so important for reliable filament storage. So here's the final verdict. Second place goes to the P1S X1C Tray. It took around 12 hours to fully dry the desiccant, and of course you lose access to the printers while it's running. First place goes to the Polydryer. It completed the drying cycle in around 6 hours. The tray holds a little more, roughly equivalent to 1 extra spool or 2 of desiccant compared to the Polydryer. And the best part is you don't lose access to your printers. So if you've got a filament dryer sitting around, not doing anything, put it to work and let it handle your desiccant. Thanks for joining me on this comparison. If you found it helpful, feel free to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more future episodes. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.